Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Kid can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars in the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Aggression in their voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Can in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live and loud, that break in the mud. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, their foes can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to Joe. Good morning to Fred, who still would rather be fishing and working. And good morning to all of you out there. It's a Tuesday. Not much going on in the NFL today again. Go figure. You hear anything last night, Joe?
No, but I heard something cool for me this morning.
Uh-oh.
No, so I didn't get the message. I was already asleep. Because my buddy in Japan, they're 16 hours ahead of us. But my Wakizashi finally got deregistered, so he's going to be shipping it to me like today or tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
And so yeah, dude, I'm sure I told you, but I don't know if everyone else knows. But I bought a legit Wakizashi that's like from like this the latest, like the early 1600s. So it's pretty dope.
That's sweet. Yeah, nothing.
It's my home protection model. They don't allow me to have guns.
Yeah.
So I figure that's a good deterrent, dude. Like if people have seen guns before, they break into your house and they come in and you're holding a gun, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, he's got a gun. But if they come in and you're holding a 17th century Wakizashi, and they're like, and you know how to use it, they're like, fuck, I might have came to the wrong house. This dude's a fucking psychopath. Like, you gonna try to cut my fucking arm off or what? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, I have to give some credit to the Lions fans today. What's that, a legitimate hand cannon? Nobody will cut your hand cannon off.
No, okay, so just real quick, let me explain what a Wakizashi is. So, in the samurai days, they would carry two swords. They would carry a katana and a Wakizashi. The Wakizashi is a smaller version of the katana, but still a deadly version. And the Wakizashi is better for home protection because a katana is long, and a Wakizashi it was made for fighting indoors. Like you can draw it and not hit it on walls and stuff like that. So it's perfect for home defense. That's why I got it. Well, that, and I'm kind of a samurai nerd, but
We
yeah.
didn't know that. No, never. Hey, I gotta give some credit to some Lions fans, man. You ready for this one? And I'm gonna go straight out there to Villain Squad. I'm giving them the credit. So Villain Squad posted yesterday a trade revisited post, right? The Matthew Stafford trade. So here's what the trade was. Obviously, the Rams got Matthew Stafford. The Rams, after all the draft picks that were used and everything, here's what they ended up with: Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Jameson Williams, Ifatu Emelefanu, Broderick Martin, and John Paschal.
Okay.
So then comes the analysis, right? Like, okay, who won the trade? So I'll give him credit here. He said basically right off the rip, the Rams won this trade. I got to give him credit for that take, and he's right. I think the Rams win that trade. Goff, as good as he's been, Laporta is inconsistent as he was early, but as good as he's been lately, right? Laporta, yeah, it's all good, great rebuild. But you know what the Rams did?
They won the ring.
they won the ring.
Yeah.
And then when you go, okay, during the life of this trade, the Rams have not only won the ring, but been back to the NFC Championship. They've been to 2 NFC championships after the trade. The Lions only been the one. And so yeah, I mean, I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but so for as much crap as I've been giving Villain Squad on posts on Facebook, I got to give them a little props there because I agree with them. I mean, for all the then he turns around and has a post on how great Jared Goff is. And I'm like, okay, so you're telling me he's the next Kirk Cousins? Phenomenal numbers during the season. Can't argue with that. Yeah, he's got 100 touchdowns in 3 years. That's friggin' great. Still no ring. I mean, so you're Kirk Cousins.
And
Phenomenal
really,
record
I mean,
season.
the last 2 years you haven't even sniffed a ring. Like
No, yeah.
you were one and done in the playoffs, and then didn't make the playoffs. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and really, I mean, here. I know this is going to make some Lions fans mad, and that's not my intention. Like I didn't wake up like, "Ooh, let's fuck with the Lions
Yeah,
fans,"
same
right?
here.
But if you look at the last 3 years, right, the Lions are on a downward trend. Like first they remember they lost to the Niners in like the NFC title game, right? Then they went one and done. Now they didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's like for a rebuild and like for all that, you should be ascending. You should be going up, right? It should have been the other way around. Like you don't make the playoffs the first year, then you're one and done, but then you hit the NFC Championship. Like I don't know. Like they're trending the wrong direction, in my
Now,
opinion.
to be fair, the entire division was 9-8 last year. To be fair, they missed the playoffs by a half a game. So I wouldn't say they're completely descending into the depths of hell, but you're right. It's still a dissension, but it's not dramatic, right? I mean, the one and done was pretty bad after the phenomenal season they had that season, winning 15 games, and then boom, okay, hey Washington, let's I mean, that was bad. Last year wasn't terrible. I mean, it was a winning season, but okay, yeah, you lost Ben Johnson. Yeah, you
That's what
lost.
you're gonna hang your hat on. Like
What
when
now?
we won, if that's what
Well,
you're gonna hang
no,
your
but I
hat on.
mean,
Like when we won 9 games, it's like
but I mean, a year in transition where you lost your defensive coordinator, lost your offensive coordinator. Of course, free agency is what it is. Not bad, not great, but you're not ascending anymore either. It was like you're hanging on. They need to turn the corner somehow because what makes that trade even worse is the Rams last year went right back to the NFC Championship game.
yeah.
I mean, and you should still be in that hunt, and they kind of are, but they're not, right? I mean, they're kind of still in the hunt, but they
And if
weren't back.
you look at that Rams team, right,
Yeah.
it's a different Rams team than the one that won the Super Bowl with Stafford the first time. Like that's what I'm saying. You got Devontae Adams, you got Puka, you got no Cooper Cup, you got
Yep.
like it's a completely different team. So they've torn it down and rebuilt it again and went and got back before you got there with the trade. Like, and I'm not trying to piss off Lions fans or rub salt in the wound. I'm saying, in my opinion, I think it's time for the Lions to do a retooling. Like, I think it's time to get off of Goff's massive contract. Like, he's there for this year, most likely, but next year, with that deep quarterback class, I would be looking at getting a quarterback on a rookie contract, and I would keep Jahmyr Gibbs. I would keep your young players, but I would look at retooling.
I mean, Goff's contract's not that bad.
It is if you're trying to. It is if you need what the Lions need to get back to being a Super Bowl contending team.
Yeah, you're better on some. Look at you're at that point with the Lions, and the Bears are going to get there relatively soon in about 2 or 3 years. You're at that point where those rookie contracts where you had that fire are running out, and now you got to pay guys. You had to pay St. Brown. You had to pay Jameson. You're gonna have to pay Gibbs. You're paying Goff. You're paying Hutch. You're starting to let some players go because of cap concerns, even though you've got cap room in Detroit right now. You've got room to maneuver. But I don't know though if Goff, because the hardest position is the quarterback position. Goff's good. Great numbers. Motown Mitch would be proud of me right now. Great numbers. He's good. He's worthy of keeping. The problem is, while he's also your savior, he's not winning you playoff games. You're not winning with him. I mean, you are, but you're not. So I don't know. I think but his contract isn't like Dax. And they've restructured it a little bit, but at 48 mil is actually really not bad for a quarterback with his numbers in this league. It's not
Yeah.
a bit. I mean, are you better on a 5-year rookie deal if you can get the same play? Oh, for sure. If you look at, I would say this: if you could replace Goff with a guy who's going to give you what Goff is giving, or has a higher ceiling than Goff, then yeah, maybe you do it. But right now, I don't see that in the cards. Like maybe next year's draft class. I mean, dude, you're saying Detroit
That's what I
would
was saying.
they would have to have
I
a
said they'll
shitty
keep him this year, but next year there's that deep quarterback class. Like you're probably almost sure to get your guy because there's going to be 8 quarterbacks in that class, and at least 8 in the first round, right? And so, it's unprecedented. Like I don't think there's ever been 8 quarterbacks in the first round like that. And think about how many teams across the league actually need a quarterback. Like I don't even think it's 8 teams that don't currently have a franchise guy
as of now. That'll change. Yeah,
as of now. But I mean, like Arizona, the Jets, the Browns,
Miami.
Well, Miami just signed Malik Willis to that contract though.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could take a chance on a guy like for their future. So that's 4.
If you're the Lions and you miss the playoffs this year, and you're say, drafting in the top 15, then yeah, maybe you grab a quarterback, right? I mean, maybe you do. Or if you make the playoffs and you're the back, and what's your 22, 23, 24, 25, somewhere, maybe you grab a quarterback because then there's no pressure to start him right away, and you could Jordan Love him.
See, I think either way, the Lions should be drafting a quarterback next year. Like, because Goff isn't getting any younger and he's not going to get any cheaper. Like, he's going to be due for an extension at some point. Like, either you're drafting his replacement now or you're drafting his replacement later where he can sit and learn under Goff for a couple years. Like, but either way, I would draft a guy.
I mean, yeah, but you see what the difference is, like, if you make the playoffs and you're, the back end, 16 to 25. Drafting your quarterback, you can probably draft a quarterback and sit him for a year and not hear. You're going to hear it, but not as loud to start him right now. But if you get a top 10 guy, if you're in a top 15, you draft the guy. The closer you are to 1, the louder it gets. Like it's like we were talking about Mendoza. Like it's going to be very loud for him to start day 1 because if you're a top 10 draft pick as a quarterback, actually if you're a top 10 draft pick at any position, you're expected to start day 1 in the NFL. That's just expectation, right or wrong, that fans have put on you. Now, if you're the Lions, I mean, I agree with you. I think they should do a quarterback. If they can make the playoffs this year, right? And Fred's like, look, if this is a critical season, just making the playoffs isn't good enough this year. We need at least a win, probably. If not, get to the NFC Championship, something like that. But I mean, let's say you make the playoffs and you go one and done. Let's say you lose to the Bears or Seattle or something like that in the first round, whatever. And you get your quarterback, you can let Goff play out one more year and sit that quarterback behind him. I mean, I think even if you do go to a Super Bowl, you still draft the quarterback because now if you can get a young quarterback, you can set it like you can Jordan Love it is basically the bottom line. You can Jordan Love it, and it's working for Green Bay pretty well. I mean, Jordan Love has been a pretty good quarterback for Green Bay overall. So I get what you're saying. But Goff's contract is not terrible.
No, it's not terrible in the sense of like top 5 quarterback contracts, but it's terrible in the sense of like you have a lot of needs that you have to fill, and you need cap space to be able to get some free agents in there to fill some spaces. You need to flip your offensive line. Definitely needs work.
Well, and
And
you may need to get rid of a wide receiver because between Jamison and St. Brown, they're spending over $50 million.
yeah,
Now compare that
if
to
I
the
have to make
Bears.
that choice, JMO's gone.
Like, yeah, because you look at the Bears by comparison. Like, if you look at the receiving cores in the NFC North, you know, Minnesota's spending some money, right? Addison, I don't know what kind of money he's going to get, but they're spending some good money. But I mean, the Lions got $50 million between two. You look at the Bears, between their top 3, they're all on rookie deals. Jahadi Walker, Luther Burden III, Roma Dunze, all rookie deals. Your
Colston
quarterback,
Loveland, their tight end.
yeah, rookie deal. You're looking at one of your running backs under, rookie deal for 3 more years. Your quarterback, rookie deal for well, he's gonna have to get an extension after this year, right? Because now we're coming into year 3. Well, yeah, year 3. This is year 3, so maybe not an extension. Maybe after but it's getting close. You're gonna have to pay Caleb pretty soon. Your offensive line, some good on some rookie deals. Some of your better defenders on rookie deals. The Bears have a lot of rookie deals. Now they're going to start paying for them here shortly. And when you look at
But the Bears are in a window.
they're in a window. If you look at the Lions, I think what's hurting them is their offensive line degraded the last 3 years too, and I think they hit that up in the draft. But yeah, I mean, like that their propensity to not spend money in free agency, like, dude, they should be going after some big time tackles and guards, and they're not. And I think that's their other problem. So I think Fred's right. Critical season for them.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but I just think that the Lions and the Bears are 2 different type of teams. Like the Lions are an older team that is like it's got a lot of veterans, especially in key places like the offensive line, quarterback, right? Like that where they need to get younger, especially on the offensive line, they need to get younger, right? They have some young skill players like Laporta and JMO and Jahmyr Gibbs. Like they're not an old team, right? But in key places, like they've been hemorrhaging on the offensive line for the last 2 years, right? They've been losing all those veterans, like have injury issues or they're retiring or like so you're losing all these great players that you had on the offensive line. Your quarterback is 33, 34, right? Which isn't old in NFL terms, but you're paying him $50 million a year, and his cap hit's even bigger than that.
Let me see what his cap hit is. I don't think it's that bad, to be honest with
Like if you're going to be trading him, weren't we just talking about it like last offseason that it was like 70 something million dead cap if they were to trade him?
Well, I'm going to look that up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Get on over the cap here. Jared Goff's cap number is 37.6. Now, if they were to cut him post June 1st, 47.6 million in dead cap, and they would lose 10 million on the cap if they were to cut him this year. Now, if I go to 2027, the cap hit is 62 million. But if they cut him post June 1st, they'd have 30 million in cap savings, 32 million in dead cap. So not bad. And they got $90 million for next year, but that's only 24 people signed on the roster at the time. I mean, here's some big contracts for 2027 and their cap number. Goff, 62.6 million cap. St. Brown, 28.9, so we'll call it 29 million cap. Alan McNeil, 27.7 mil on the cap. Panay Sewell, $32 million on the cap.
Oh,
Aiden Hutchinson, $16 million on the cap. J-Mo, not bad, $11 million on the cap. Cade Mays is $9.2 million on the cap, and I'm gonna cap it there. You got a couple guys at 4 or 5, stuff like that. Like DJ Reed's $8 million. I mean, but that's only 24. They got signed like 30 more people, right? And they got 90 million. So they could be in some cap issues next year for them. For this year, they got 23 million in cap right now. 65 guys signed to the roster, so they can carry some of that over to next year. I mean, their biggest cap hits this year: Goff at 37, St. Brown at 33, Elam McNeil at 28.9 again, Panay Sewell at 28, DJ Reed at 17.8, Aiden Hutchinson's at 10, Derek Barnes at just almost 10, J-Mo's at 8.7. Dead cap wise, they're carrying 26.4 million in dead cap this year because they got David Montgomery, DJ Reader, Ragnow, Glasgow, Anzalone, Hendon Hooker. They got a couple guys they're carrying some dead cap on.
yeah.
They're really the next year they're gonna have to maybe do some restructures.
Yeah. But 28 million for Aleem McNeil. That's a crazy number to me. Like, Aleem McNeil is a good player, don't get me wrong, but he's not worth almost $30 million a season, dude. Isn't he a defensive tackle? He's not even a defensive end. He's a defensive tackle, I think.
Yeah, they flip his deal. He's interior defensive line.
Yeah, he's a defensive tackle that you're paying almost $30 million.
And his deal goes up. So it goes, this year's 28.9 cap number, next year 27.7, and then the final year of regular is 29.2, and he's got a void year, which is like about $3 million cap hit, which means they restructured him at some point. It was a 4-year, $97 million contract extension in October of 24. 28 million fully guaranteed, 55 million is guaranteed for injury. Yeah.
Oh, it's only. What is his dead cap if they cut him then? Because if it's only 28 million guaranteed,
his dead cap for 20. Well, this year he's uncuttable, kind of. I mean, I say kind of because they've got cap. If they cut him post June 1st, 31.8 in dead, and they go back on the cap 2.8 from where they are now. But next year, 27, because the post June 1st cut, they save 19.7 and take 7.9 in dead cap. For the final year, if they cut them, it's 4.9 in dead cap, but they would save 24.2.
I think that's a good. I think that's a good cut candidate. Like, because not because he doesn't deserve to be on the Lions, but if you look at the contracts that you're able to cut with the least dead cap but the highest value, there's one right there. He's going to get you cap savings and not that much dead cap.
He's Tremaine Edmonds for the Bears, right? Edmonds wasn't worth the contract. He's a good player, and he got paid. But it's funny because what he's getting paid for the Giants for the 2-year deals is what he would have made on 1 year in Chicago.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the kind of situation he's going to be. And the Bears, they've got some big contracts too. Montez Sweat, Jalen Johnson, Joe Thuney, Dio, which I can't believe he's a $20 million cap hit this year.
Dio's contract is like a millstone around your guys' neck.
It kind of is right now. It might be pans out.
You're paying him $20 million a year to not play.
I mean, last year was the
first year. Get worse than that.
Last year was the first year of his deal, but next year, next year he's a cut candidate. If you cut him pre-June 1st next year, you get $15 million in cap savings. If you cut a post-June 1st next year, after for next season, you save $15 million, and then your dead cap goes 4.5. So Dio, if he doesn't do it this year, they can cut him, and the Bears will save a ton of money. In fact, there are a lot of guys who they could do that. Montez Sweat is another guy who could be a cut candidate. Cole Kmet also. is a cut candidate because they could save $10 million in cap and only take 1.6 in dead. But I don't think they do. But yeah, they got some. The Bears have. It's not as bad for the Bears, but it's there. Let me see. I was looking at contract. Yeah, contract was maybe for his injury.
Yeah. And like I said, Ali McNeil is a good player. He's just not, to me, he's not a $27 million a season defensive tackle. Like, I don't think there should be a 27, unless it's Aaron Donald, a defensive tackle shouldn't be making $27 million a year. That's just my opinion. But
And good morning, Yinzer, jackwagon.
that's like almost top wide receiver money, and that's just crazy. But it goes back to what I was saying. I just think the Lions have some young players and some young talented players, but they have old players in the wrong positions. Like, you need a younger offensive line. You need some vets on your offensive line. Don't get me wrong. But when your whole line is composed of vets, right, then it's like you're paying all those guys. You need to have one or two guys on your line that are on rookie contracts. You need to have a couple of guys on your defensive line that are on rookie contracts. You need a couple guys, at least two guys in your secondary that are making, that are on rookie contracts, because all those guys cost money. Like, corners cost $20 million a year. Defensive tackles cost you 27. Defensive ends cost you 40, 35, 40. Like, so I think they need to get younger in key positions if they want to extend their window.
And this is NFL wide. They need to rein in some of these contract numbers.
Yeah.
Like, the disparity in quarterbacks. Like, you're making 60 million or you're making 20 million. You know what I mean? For a top end receiver, for receivers, you're making 30 million or you're making 10. Like,
Yeah.
I get paying these top guys good money. Like, dude, I'm sorry. What you guys are paying your center, 27 mil. It's insane to me. Because, I mean, I get it. You're paying the first hours of free agency tax. That's part of it, right? But I mean,
Well, we're
dude,
also paying the we suck tax. Like,
well, that too. But I mean, but just like overall, though, I'm not dissing the Raiders on this. It's just the market needs to correct itself because, dude, 20 million should have done that. I mean, if you look at what you got to spend, you got to sign 53 guys, and what you got, like $300 million, right, to sign those guys, right? Is that what's the total? Is it 300 million right now?
yeah, something like that.
Or 300? What's the actual number? Good
I
morning,
think it was
Cam.
320, 311 or 320.
Yeah, let me look that up. What's the actual cap number? The actual cap number is for this year. Oh, by the way, the Bears have $243,000 in cap available to them. So it's like 325 and change. So okay, let's just call it 325 million, right? Divide that by 53 players. That would give an average of 6.1 million per player. Okay, not bad. Now, not every player is worth 6.1 million, but when you're given a guy like, okay, if you look at, does it tell me? I think it's like Montez Sweat. What's the percentage of his contract of? He's 2% this year. He's 8% of your cap. Is Montez Sweat, right? That doesn't sound terrible, but it's not great either. You know what I mean? I guess the better one. Let's go with the Dallas Cowboys. They're always a good team to look at. If you look at Dak, we'll look at Dak's contract real quick,
And then go to Micah
into it.
Parsons.
If you're in the comments, I'm sorry, I can't see the comments while I'm doing this, but I'll get to you in a second. But Dak's contract this year, okay? He is this year. He's cheap, man. He's only 13.1%, but the next 2 years, 23.2% and 24%. A quarter of their cap is going to one guy. One guy. Like, I don't think you should be paying more than, I can see 10%, maybe even 15%. But after that, man, you're starting to get into ridiculousness. And when you got guys who are costing, I mean, it's hard because yeah, you want it. The guys are worth more than other quarterbacks, maybe, or other receivers, or other linemen. I get that, but they're still out of control.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, Fred, that's a whole other story. But that's how you get there, right? Because you give two of this massive deal, and you make them 20% of your cap. And now if that one, now you're talking single point of failure. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so some of these numbers are a little bit out of control, a little bit out of control. And look, we saw a couple years ago with the running backs how the NFL kind of reined it back. Because remember, running backs are making north of 20 million. Remember, they were getting like $20 million contracts, and now they're getting 10, 15. It's starting to climb back up a little bit. But there was a reset. There was a reset. So, yeah, yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll ever cap a position group. They always talk about it, but like the NFL was smart because the first thing they did was they capped the draft salary. Are we almost at an NBA thing where you're gonna get max contracts? You know what I'm talking about, like that situation.
Luxury tax type of shit.
I don't like the way the NBA does it. Right?
No.
I don't like the way MLB does it either. The NHL seems okay with the way their cap works. Yeah, but it's just like they got to rein in these. Like receivers are going to be making now. The next guy's going to make 35, almost 40.
Well, Jamar Chase is already making 40.
Yeah, and it's like really.
Justin Jefferson is making close to that too. I think
he's like 33, 35. Let's see what Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But I don't know. Enough about the Lions for me. Like I said what I said. I think they need to get younger in key spots, man. Like if you're going to do that through the draft.
Justin Jefferson's not even the most expensive guy in the roster right now. His cap number this year is $21.2 million. Brian O'Neill is 23.1. Jonathan Grenard is 22.1. Van Ginkel is 19.2. But let's look at 2027. That number's got to jump. Yeah. For 2027, though, Grenard is $22 million. Justin Jefferson is $49.5 million. Darrisaw will be at 28 million. Wow. Will Fry at 21.5 million. He was a then Van Ginkel is in a void year. So that's 8 million on the cap. Interesting. So yeah, they gotta rein these numbers back in a little bit. I don't know if you can cap. Like, I mean, I like what Cam said there, but I don't know if they'll do that. Like, say, hey, you can't have any one position group or any one player be more than X percent of your total budget. Like, you have to cap it at 20% or 25%, because then that creates a max contract deal, right? And now, I mean, I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't think that's good in the NFL in a way, though, because see, and here's the other coin of that. Why are the prices going up? Because guys are trying to retain their people, and it's natural supply versus demand, right? Why is Caleb Williams going to get such a monster deal for the Bears? Because if the Bears don't, if the Bears don't do it, someone else is going to pay him more. And I get that's why what's Caleb Williams' contract going to look like if he keeps playing like he is playing?
He's going to get Dak money.
More. He's going to get more than that.
Probably. But I said Dak money like in that range. Like he'll make more than Dak, but I don't think he's going to blow Dak's contract away. Like, and it's not anything about the player. It's that ownership is going to be like, look, Dak is the most expensive quarterback in the league. We're willing to pay you a little bit more than him to reflect our respect for you, but we're not going to get into this $80 million or $73 million a year. That's just crazy. Or get there. If Caleb decides, if he decides he's worth that and he's like, nah, I want this, then he might set the market again.
Okay, Packer fans, Lions fans, Vikings fans, calm down. I'm going to tell you to calm down before I even say it. What if Caleb wins a ring this year? What if? If
I
he
mean,
wins a ring this year or next year before his new contract. So this is going to be year 3. Don't have to do anything this offseason. Don't, right? You got 2 years left. They're going to pick up the option, obviously. Because we learned what happens if you don't pick up the option and can't get to a contract. You end up going to Vegas, right? Your son. They're going to pick up the option, which will be 30 million-ish, 40 million-ish, whatever. So you've got 2 years, really. But you really got this year and next year, and then you got to extend them coming into year 5. If in the next 2 years, Caleb Williams wins a ring, and look, Fred's like, I hope he gets Dak money. If he wins a ring, though, he's going to surpass Dak money. And if he keeps putting up the numbers like he put up this year, and the numbers keep getting, he becomes an elite quarterback in this league, a la Mahomes, a la Burrow, and these other guys, he's going to get that elite money.
Yeah.
It could push 70 million a year.
I think it already could. Like, I think he could push 65, like just setting the market. Like, but if he wins a ring, I think, yeah, you could actually push him into that $70 million a year range.
Oh, what's the other? I'm trying to think of the other website we used to use. Not Over the Cap, but
Spotrac.
Spotrac. Thank you. Let me see what Spotrac, if they're tracking his value. Because sometimes they're bad about it, but sometimes they're actually decent about it. Let me see what Spotrac has if it comes up. Okay. Look at the Bears here. And then I want to look at Caleb, who's making $10.7 million this year. Not too shabby. He's a free agent in 29. So, like I said, you've got some time on him. His mark. Okay, what do you want to think his market value is right now?
Right now,
Yep.
probably in the 40s.
Spotrac has his market value. Well, let me see. Hold on. Let me see if anyone in the comments wants to take a shot. Didn't Favre and Rodgers win Super Bowls on their rookie contract? Yes, they did. They don't want to take a guess at what, or Fred, yeah. That is also true, Fred. So his Spotrac calculated market value as of right now, $51.7 million annual. They're saying if you were to sign a contract right now, it would be a 4-year, almost $207 million contract, averaging out at 51.6, almost 51.7 million. Now Trevor Lawrence is averaging 55 million a year. Josh Allen 55 million a year. Jalen Hurts at 51. Brock Purdy at 53. So that's where they're putting Caleb right
That's fair.
now. That number could go up. I don't know how Brock Purdy gets. Oh, I do know. I kind of get it. Trevor Lawrence is the one where I go, really, of that group. Like Jalen Hurts has won you the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy has gone to a couple Super Bowls. Josh Allen, I mean, well, he hasn't taken you to a Super Bowl, but he's
Superman, bro.
Yeah.
It hasn't been his fault you haven't gone to a Super Bowl. Other than last year's playoff game, it hasn't been his fault you haven't gone to a Super Bowl.
But Trevor Lawrence, just
yeah.
Let me look at his yards per game, 246. I mean, he's got 10 yards a game more than Josh Allen. His pass touchdown, actually his numbers are actually comparable to Josh Allen. I did not realize that. In some ways, better. Now look at his rating though is only a 78.5 versus Josh Allen is a 91.5. Caleb Williams' quarterback rating right now is a 71.3. Interesting. So that's where he's at right now. So what's he going to be like if he has another big season? It's going to be up near 60.
Yeah, and all signs point towards him having another big season. I mean, you lost DJ Moore, so that will affect you guys somewhat. But I mean, it just means Rome has to step up, and you still have
Well,
Luther Burden, Luther Burden's going to step into a much larger role now, and that
you got
bodes
Jelani.
well for you guys.
Yeah, you got Walker, and then we had another guy we drafted, didn't play the whole year last year because of injury, and we'll see how he does. Um, so the Bears are not without weaponry for certain. Um, yeah,
But
I
your
mean they've
defense is kind of in flux, right?
yeah, but you know what though, I like what they did defensively. I do like what he did defensively. Um, no, he hasn't. But the reason you paid that, but look, here's the other piece of that though, and I'll say this, right? And this is true of Jared Goff. This is true of Caleb. It's true of Burrow. It's even true of Tua Tagovailoa. They're worth the contracts, and you're gonna be like, but wait, Ken, dude, what are you smoking this morning that you add Tua to this list? Fair, but you know what? He makes you money. How many jerseys do you see rolling around Miami with Tagovailoa on the back? He sells jerseys. He sells tickets. He sells hats. He sells beer. He sells everything that a team sells. That's always the piece that people. This is that X factor, right? Yeah, you're paying the guy because he's a good player, but you're really paying the guy. What you're really paying him for is the amount of revenue he generates for you. Now, the difference being that we have this confined to this cap, right? We've got this hard ceiling we can't pass, right? But Fred, this is where I'm saying no, you're wrong, because Dak is worth the money because Dak fills that stadium every week in Dallas. He
Yeah,
generates. If you were to break down the amount of revenue that Dak Prescott himself generates, his name generates for the Dallas Cowboys, it's a massive percentage.
yeah. I think you're right, but I think most people don't look at it that way. I think
We
most
don't.
people look at it like Fred does. Like
Yep.
they're looking at production on the field and they're saying there's no way Dak deserves that money.
And look at
But
they're
when you
not
throw in
wrong.
what you're saying, no, yeah, exactly. They're not wrong. It's just that they're not looking at it from the same light that you are because you're agreeing with them. You're saying, yeah, on the field, absolutely. I don't think Dak deserves that kind of money for
Right.
what he's produced, right? But when you look behind the scenes at all the jerseys and everything else that he sells, he makes it's like he makes the team more money than they're paying him by far. And
And
so
there's a
they give him
correlation.
a piece of that.
And there's a correlation between the numbers he produces and that, right? There has to be.
Mhm.
Because you're not going to buy, like, you're not buying a jersey for the guy riding the pine.
Yeah.
You're not buying the jersey for the guy who doesn't do shit on your team.
And I'm sure that that's an argument that his agent makes when it's time for contract
Yeah, totally.
negotiations. I'm sure he's like, hey, like, we sold 2.2 million jerseys last year. Like,
Yeah, I'm the number one selling, like Caleb Williams. I'm the number one, he'll walk in and be like, dude, I'm the top 10 jerseys in the league. And, in sales, that makes you money. My marketability, how you can market me. That's a piece of it that as fans, we don't think about often, if ever. I mean, think about this, Fred. Ask yourself this question, right? How many times have you sat there and thought about the marketability of Jared Goff or St.
never,
Brown?
never.
You probably never have. But I guarantee you when they talked about their contract, that was part of it. And this is true for not all big money players. Because, like, obviously you're a center making $27 million a year. Like, okay, when the Bears got Joe Tooney, we're happy, but how many Tooney jerseys are out there being sold? Some guys, they're making their money straight off play.
Hmm.
Some, it's a combination of play and marketability.
Hmm.
And I would think at the quarterback, wide receiver position specifically right now, and defensive end, those three position groups, it's like you're making money based not just off your play, but your marketability. Khalil Mack is making $18 million this year at 35. Why? Because he's still very productive, but also he's still very marketable. They're selling Mac jerseys. They're
He's a
selling
household
Mac
name.
bobbleheads. They're selling Mac T-shirts. They're selling programs and the game tickets with his face. Buy your Chargers tickets, and there's a picture of him and his quarterback.
Yeah.
So that's a piece of it. I mean, I agree with what you're saying for 100%, but there's the other piece of it. So some of that overpay is the marketability pay that we don't take into account as fans. We say, "Oh my God, I can't believe we're paying this guy $48 million. He was only worth 40." Well, part of that 48 is his marketability. When you look at your team's website, or you look at the banners they put on the side of the stadium, or those guys they put up there, that's part of that big contract. Because like if they're going to put on the side of the stadium, they're going to put Goff and they're going to put St. Brown. They're not going to put the third string cornerback picture up there. He's not going to sell tickets. Now, like I said, there's a correlation between it, but I mean, Caleb's contract is going to be scary. Jaden Daniels' contract is going to be scary. Drake May, Bo Nix, like that draft class is going to break records.
Yeah.
And
And you know, whoever is the first quarterback to get extended from that class is going to regret it.
it depends. It depends. Because like if one of them wins a ring, I think that's going to make it different. Like
No,
if
what I
let's
meant
say,
by the first quarterback that signs is going to regret it is because that's going to be the baseline, and all the other ones are going to get higher salaries than him based off of that.
not necessarily though. Let's say Caleb wins a ring and he's the first to sign. The
Well,
other guy
yeah,
has
okay,
to be able to top it without a ring.
that's true. But if let's just say, for the sake of argument, none of them wins a ring by the time that they're up for extensions, right? Like whoever signs first is going to be like 6 months later, they're going to be like, damn, dude, I missed out on like 5-10 million a year. Like,
Yeah, but at that level, dude, I mean, God, it almost seems like I don't want to be flippant about it, but you're talking about so much money that the average person's like, dude, you're making, you got a 4-year, you're making 60 mil a year, and you're crying because it's not 63. Really? And the average fan's making what, 80 grand a year?
yeah, but I don't think players look at it like that. Like
No.
when you're making millions like that, it's like $3 million a year over the course of a 4 or 5 year deal is an additional $15 million. That's not something that like you scoff
Oh,
at,
yeah, no, I get it, but these guys already got that's generational money.
Yeah,
And these guys,
but you're
their
thinking at
children aren't going to have to work.
yeah, but you're looking at it as a guy like us, Ken, who like we don't have generational money, right? Like at least not generational money like that. Like you
Right.
might have something to leave to your grandkids, but it ain't $240 million, right? So for them, it's like that 15 million is still 15 million. For
Oh,
us,
no, I
we're
get
sitting
it.
here
And after
thinking like
agent fees
15
and
million would set me
taxes,
up for life, you
well,
know?
and after agent fees and taxes and everything
Yeah,
else, these guys
they're
pay, I get it.
they're not going to get half of that,
Right.
you know? And so, yeah, I mean, I do agree with that statement. I think that the Lions are much more focused on winning at this. And I don't think that their window is completely closed, but I do think that they got to do some things to keep that window open.
I would love to get a guy like Kerry Wood on for this, what we're talking about. Because, like, you want to talk about, these guys. Kerry Wood, when he came back to the Cubs, he came back like on $1 million a year deal, but the Yankees were willing to pay him 5. He said, nope, I want to go to Chicago. Or Andre Dawson, when he famously came to the Cubs in the Expos, and he said, here's a blank contract signed. You fill in the number. He left money on the table. I'd like to talk to some of these guys who've left money on the table to go play for a certain team or to stay with a team and ask them if they regret that choice.
Yeah, I don't think they would
It would
say
be
yes.
interesting to see what the answer would be because, like, these guys all are financially set, but are they mad about that 3 million they left on the table, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no doubt. Right? That's what we care about, the ring. Um,
That's what we do this for. It's the rings,
but I
right?
mean, it is going to be interesting to see like the Lions, what kind of wall they're going to hit, what kind of wall the Bears are going to hit. Because dude, we're in this window, but Caleb is going to be a huge contract. Rome is going to be a huge contract. Luther Burning is going to be a big contract. Colston Loveland is going to be a big contract. Darnell Wright is going to be a big contract.
Hmm.
I'm just saying that the NFL wants to keep these teams competitive. At some point, we've got to rein in these numbers or
Yeah.
drastically expand the cap.
I just don't know how you're going to rein in the numbers.
Well, that's the
Like
thing,
it's gonna take collusion between all the owners.
or drastically. I mean, look at we know, and this number, maybe we'll revisit this in June or July, and we can look at numbers again. I know it's a boring show to a certain degree. It's kind of like pulling teeth, but it's good info, right? Remember, we did the show last year. We broke down the numbers of what teams make, and we figured out that the Minnesota Vikings, not a major market, but a pretty decent sized market, still cleared $1 billion in 2024. Cleared $1 billion after all operating costs.
Mhm.
So there's room to take a $320 million cap and make it 400 million. Like tomorrow, you could. I mean, you're cutting into the $1 billion profit, 80 million bucks, not even 10%. So, I mean, if you extend you extend it and maybe then cap it, saying that a quarterback could, by position group, maybe you can only spend 25% as a position group, right? Quarterbacks can only account for 25%, wide receivers can only account for 30% in total, whatever, maybe something like that. But I mean, I think maybe they could extend the cap a lot more than they have. If teams are clearing $1 billion a season, then yeah, you can extend the cap out a lot more than what you have. But but at some point though, too, you got to rein in these numbers because you can't go. I mean, dude, it's almost $30 million for a center now. 10%, almost 10% of the Raiders' cap is being spent on a center.
Yeah, but the Raiders really needed that center.
Right, but I mean, but think of
And
10%.
he's top five. He's elite at his position.
I can't
So
know, but that's not what I'm getting at. Ten
I know
percent,
what you're getting at.
10% of your operating budget is
Hmm.
spent on one guy, and you still have 52 other guys to pay.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the Raiders, like they paid it because they needed it, and they're, you have a chance to get a guy who's elite at his position, probably top 3 at his position, and especially a position as important as center when you're bringing in a rookie contract. I don't like I'm not thrilled with the contract. Like I think they massively overpaid, right? But they had
Oh,
to.
they did.
It was the only way they were going to get Linderbaum. So I'm glad
I
that
mean,
they did what was necessary to get him in the building.
it's just and once again, I gotta give credit to Bill and the squad for as we started this whole thing got kicked off because of the Goff trade, um, the Goff Stafford trade, and look at the Rams won that trade, and I would say even financially they won that trade because now they're more financially able to do what they need to do than the Lions are. They really have shown they've been able to financially maneuver better since that trade than the Lions have. And the Lions, while they still have cap money, they're kind of a little hamstrung right now with what they can spend. And the Bears are going to be there. The Vikings already there. The Packers got a little bit of room, but they're kind of showing signs. They're showing cap fatigue a little bit, like with what they're able to sign for all the holes they have. And that's the problem. You get all these holes, but no money because all your money's going to 5 guys.
Mhm. You know, a
And
thought, an interesting thought just occurred to me about that whole Max Crosby trade scenario with the Ravens. Like when Max Crosby was more like doing he came the night before, right? And that was the first day of free agency where the Raiders went and spent all that money. It just occurred to me, like, what if the Ravens saw all that spending the Raiders were doing and they were like, if we were to reject this trade, there's no way that they could take Max back under that cap. So they're going to be screwed unless they trade him to us cheaper. And that's what forced them to be like, hey, maybe we can renegotiate this thing.
yeah, but they were stupid in doing so because they weren't looking at the numbers.
Yeah.
That's the bad thing. They didn't look at the numbers because they look at the Raiders right now. 65 guys under contract and still have $23.4 million. We'll call it $23.5 million in cap with Max Crosby in there. They weren't even looking at the numbers. The Raiders still have enough to go out and do another major signing or two. I mean, Linderbaum's only $14 million on the cap this year.
Yeah, but who's left? I mean,
Well, that's what I'm saying. I
the
mean,
free agency well is kind of dry at this point, isn't it?
pretty close. There's still a couple guys out there, but yeah, I mean, but the Ravens, if that was their justification, dude, they're even dumber than we thought because they weren't looking at the numbers that we all could see, and we could see it. I mean, look at it's not saying it's let's put it this way, Fred. The Rams won the trade, but the Lions didn't get fleeced either. The Lions
Yeah.
got a value out of it, right? I mean, yeah, they got value.
I would say both teams got what they needed out of it, right? Like the Rams got the quarterback that put them over the top. The Lions got to rebuild their entire roster and make them competitive.
Yeah,
I
mean,
think that's
because that's like if you want to revisit the Bears Panthers trade. I mean, who won that trade? Did the
I
Bears
don't
win
think that
it?
one's even close. I think the Bears definitely won that trade.
I mean, neither of them won anything. They both quarterbacks are doing well. The Bears obviously got their quarterback going faster than the Panthers got theirs. We traded away DJ Moore for a second round pick, so we're still going to get some value out of him even when he leaves. That value just increased maybe a little bit. I think you'd be okay to say the Bears won that trade. We look at everything they got and how much faster they were able to build with what they got. But I mean, until one of them wins a ring, it's kind of like hard to really declare a winner. I mean, I think the Bears won the trade, but it's not like lopsided.
Yeah. No, the Panthers, I mean, it was looking like it was a bad trade for the Panthers for a while. But, Bryce Young has played better. What they've done since acquiring Bryce Young, like they've acquired some talent around him that had made that team a lot better too. So it doesn't look as bad in hindsight.
What's his contract? That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get the $50 million a year that Jordan Love and those guys are getting. I think he's going to end up lower than that. I don't know how much lower, but if you look at numbers, they're not earth-shattering numbers.
If they make the playoffs this year, I think he's in that $50 million range because that's about the going rate of a quarterback range.
They're going to regret that.
Well, yeah, that's true, Vinny. But I mean, like they're still getting a perceived value out of that of DJ Moore. Even they had value in DJ Moore when they used them, and now they're pushing that value forward a little bit more with another rookie contract for 4 years. And you're right, depends on how well that player does. And we're about out of time for today. Vinny, we haven't really been talking draft yet because, well, we haven't. Right now, oh, by the way, right now, you missed it, Vinny. His Spotrac value is at 52 million a year. We were at least 2 years out, but yeah, that's what we were talking about today. Like how stupid these contracts are getting. What's Caleb's going to be like in that quarterback class of Bo Nix and all those guys. We'll talk some more about that and some other stuff tomorrow, man. UFL does start this weekend. Today's Tuesday, so enjoy the Tuesday. And we'll see you back here all tomorrow, guys. Thank you all for being with us. Have a great day.